Hey there, Space Western fans, and welcome to Screen Rant. I'm Greg Elliott, and another episode of The Mandalorian has dropped, and just like each episode before it, it's got plenty of references and callbacks to the existing Star Wars universe. There will be spoilers from here on out, so if you're not caught up, this might be a good time for you to hit pause and load up Disney+. And with that, here is every Star Wars reference and Easter egg that we caught in Sanctuary, the 4th episode of The Mandalorian. In this chapter, the Mandalorian fondly refers to Baby Yoda as a little womp rat while trying to get him to stop messing around with the Razor Crest buttons and switches. You might remember that during the Rebel Alliance's strategy meeting before the Battle of Yavin in A New Hope, Luke boasts that he used to bullseye womp rats in his T-16 back home, and this is the first reference to them that we've heard in the show. When our Mando and Baby Yoda enter the tavern on Sorgan, Baby Yoda comes across a not-so-friendly creature known as a Loth-cat. These alien felines have been seen many times in Star Wars Rebels, and you can even take home a plush one from Star Wars Galaxy's Edge at Disneyland and Disney World, but this is the first time we've ever seen one in live action. And next, we've got another reference to the Battle of Endor in Return of the Jedi. The fall of the Empire is still the talk of the galaxy in The Mandalorian, and we get some insight as to what's happened since when we finally meet Cara Dune. We learn that Cara fought as a shock trooper for the Alliance and spent some time, quote, mopping up after Endor. She talks about dealing with lingering Imperial warlords, but then left the rebellion behind after the Alliance transitioned into the New Republic and they were relegated to just playing peacekeepers. And thanks to some conversation with Omera, we finally got to learn a bit more about our Mandalorian and the rules that go along with being one. First of all, we can finally verify that, as implied in earlier episodes, he wasn't born a Mandalorian and was a foundling who was taken in by them. And those two farmers do recognize his armor as being Mandalorian, which means that their reputation still reaches even some of the most backwater scug holes in the galaxy. We also learn some of the history and rules regarding his helmet. We discover that he's never taken it off in front of people since he was a kid, and if he did, he could never wear it again. Although we do finally see him remove it for the first time while still not showing his face. Although it did seem like he could have easily been seen by those kids playing with Baby Yoda. This episode also gave us the show's first look at an all-terrain scout transport, or ATST, which made their first appearance in The Empire Strikes Back and were featured extensively in Return of the Jedi. The Mandalorian also calls the AT a hunk of junk, which is the same phrase Lando uses to describe the Millennium Falcon in The Empire Strikes Back.
She's the fastest hunk of junk in the galaxy.
This AT was pretty threatening, with ominous red eyes that we haven't seen before and what looks to be some kill tally marks on its leg. It also definitely gave me some Jurassic Park T-Rex vibes when it came out of the forest, and this episode was directed by Bryce Dallas Howard, so maybe that's not a coincidence. This episode was clearly based around the plot of the classic film The Seven Samurai, where a group of warriors helps protect a village from invading bandits. And speaking of which, this was also not the first time we've seen the Klatooinian raiders that attacked the Sorgan village. They've made appearances in the Star Wars Resistance and Clone Wars TV shows, but in Return of the Jedi, a couple of them are part of Jabba the Hutt's entourage, and one of them gets eaten by the Sarlacc during the Battle of the Great Pit of Carkoon. And we also did have another Twi'lek sighting, as well as a Kubaz, the elephant-looking alien that tries to kill Baby Yoda. And here's one more tiny little reference for you. That rifle that Omera uses in the episode, well, that's a Relby V10 mortar gun, which is also the weapon of choice of none other than Bossk, the Trandition bounty hunter that we were first introduced to in The Empire Strikes Back. Well, I think that's it for this one, guys. We'd love to hear if you caught anything that we didn't, so please let us know in the comments, and keep coming back to Screen Rant for more Mandalorian material. I'm Greg Elliott, thanks for watching, and hey, stop touching things.